What is going on, my beautiful people? This is your certified life and relationship coach, Coach Court. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about, how powerful fear is and how it can really impact your life in a negative way. I am going to give people time to get in here. I'm going to switch my microphone up. I am dropping the ball on this one, but this weekend was my birthday weekend, and I kind of celebrated a little bit. So I wasn't on my P's and Q's as far as like content creation and stuff, but we all need that time to just regroup, um, and just actually celebrate the life that God has gave me, the path that He has given me, and everything in between. So I appreciate you guys. This is Monday. What is it? The 22nd, November 22nd, the week of Thanksgiving. I know you guys have a lot to be thankful for. I know I have. I know that the path that I am on, the journey that I am going on it's a beautiful one because you guys are always here supporting. You guys are giving your feedback. You're helping making this community a strong and thriving community. So I'll give you guys time to get in here. I know it is a work day, so I understand that. I have my coffee here, celebrating. Coffee record. I know we talked about this before. If it had been a good idea for me to start something up on a regular basis called Coffee Record, because I know a lot of people that are across seas, they really are bummed out when they miss the live sessions. They're not able to come in and ask questions. So I'm really wanting to. Probably going to post a poll on my YouTube channel and ask you guys, would it be a good idea to do a regular weekly coffee record session where you guys can come in and ask questions, and we can align the people that are in South Africa, the people that are in the UK, London. We can get you guys all aligned with us here in Central in the US and be able to make it as valuable and as impactful as possible for everybody that wants to participate. So drop a comment below if you guys are thinking that that's a good idea. If you want to participate in that poll and vote and let everyone know if it's a good idea to have these weekly live sessions, just let me know. I mean, because I'm here for you guys. I'm here to serve you guys. God has given me this gift that I feel, and I want to make sure that before I expire, I can do as much as I can. I'm the ripe age of 39 now. Go figure. This is my last rotation before the big 4-0, and I'm going to make it very powerful as far as the influencing world. Try to connect with as many people as I can, try to coach. And I always have this goal each and every year to give out more free coaching than I did last year. So that's probably going to be the goal this year. So I wrote a quote today on Instagram. Hello. Hey, coach, I have a question. I'm in a state of no contact with some guy, but I miss him am a fearful avoidant. What can I do? The thing about the fearful avoidant people is it's really hard for you guys to get over that literally that fear of being rejected. So you just have to take that leap of faith. Connect, reach out. If you listen, the worst thing that could happen has already happened, right? You guys, if you've broken up, it's already done. Like, it's okay. Check that off the list. I really fear this person leaving me and me not being in a relationship with them. Okay, done. What's left to fear? Never being able to get the chance to get back with them again? I can tell you that sitting around and twiddling your fingers is not going to help you. You give them that time to reflect. You give them that time to look back on what was. You give them that state of missing you, because the strongest way to get someone back, or the quickest way to get someone back, is to remove your attention. And when you remove it, they're going to be thinking, wow, I don't like this silence from this person. It's not a good thing. So if you're fearful of avoiding, you messed up and you know that you showed up in an unhealthy way, then reconnect. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the YouTube membership program. It's a pretty popular program. If you go to my homepage, you can join for 25 bucks a month. You get $20 of coaching with me one-on-one. That's like 70% off my normal rate. So just for being a member of the YouTube membership, you get that discount, that massive discount, and you get to talk to me one-on-one. We get to assess a plan, and each and every month we get to work together. So, all right. So I wrote a quote on Instagram. I'm going to get back to that. I'm going to find it first. First, I want to address another, just for you, for the guy that reached out to me. I want to answer this question for you really quickly. All right. So I wrote the quote that I wrote yesterday. It said, I pray you stop sabotaging the blessings you need because they aren't what you currently want. And he asked a really good question. He said, how would we know what we need? All right. So responding to the quote, I pray that you stop sabotaging the blessings that you need. What are the blessings that we need? And from what I've learned from my own personal experience and from working with people, usually the blessings that you need are the ones that your intuition is telling you strongly that you need it. Right. So the fantasy, you have to get rid of the fantasy of what we want and realize that the blessing that God has given us is the blessing that we need in this moment. In order to make us the best version of ourselves, in order to push us in our goals and our dreams, you have to follow that intuition, because so many people ignore the intuition. Example, a person isn't showing up and a person is not meeting your needs. All right. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to answer that question. A person isn't showing up and isn't meeting our needs. Our fantasy is telling us, our wants is, okay, in the future, because this person was meeting our needs in the first 2 months, the potential is there. But that's just our fantasy. That is the blessing that we want. But the blessing that we need is the clarity to show us that, hey, this person is not showing up for us. This person is not giving us exactly what we need. Hello from Tokyo. Not giving us what we need, which is, if you have love, if you guys are familiar with love languages, they're not giving us they're not speaking any of our love languages. Now, I was watching a show. This is an interesting correlation. I was watching a show. For some reason, it's been a lot of synchronicities with my coaching. I've been ended up watching like a lot of relationship shows. I didn't even know we're going to be relationship shows. And a lot of the concepts that I teach, like I was watching a show last night, and this is like crazy. One of the books that I recommend to a lot of my coaching clients is Codependent No More. Codependent No More by Melody Beattie. And in the show, a lady was reading that book, and I'm like, wow, I recommend this book to a lot of women who end up being codependent in relationships. So, where was I going with that? Oh, in the show, she ended up finding out that her husband was cheating on him. He had died, and she ended up finding out that her husband was cheating on her. And I was telling myself, literally, this was after I wrote the quote. I said, then that's exactly the blessing that she needs, because she was really struggling to get over it, to grieve it. And she had him on his pedestal, and his mom was making her feel like such a horrible wife and blah, blah, blah. And she ended up finding out that he was having an affair for like a year and a half. And I said, you know what? That is the blessing that she actually needed in that moment, because she needed to take him off that pedestal. And this is maybe something messed up when you're grieving a death. But in order for her to like move on, in order for her to really process the breakup and see him as a human being and not someone or the loss, see him as an actual human, as someone that is not on that pedestal anymore, is someone as flawed as her, then, that's exactly what she needed. Of course, it was traumatic, but it's what she needed. I hope that helped, man. Listen, if you're watching this, I'm going to send this video to you anyway. So that's how you know your intuition. We often ignore our intuition. We know exactly what's good for us and what's not good for us. And when we take that bite of unhealthy food, we know that this isn't what we need, but it's what we want. You have to follow your intuition. Your intuition is the strongest, especially you women. You women, the women's intuition, you guys have solved some mysteries and some things that men, we don't have that strong intuition like you guys. We have to practice it. You guys were born with it. And now trying to decipher what's fear and what's anxiety from your intuition is it's an art. But once you learn that, this is why I meditate. When you learn to tune into that intuition and know exactly what it is, you'll never make a wrong decision in the future. Like, period. I'm just saying, this is how it is. So the quote I wrote today, based on this topic here, fear is a powerful emotion. It will prevent you from taking that risk, being vulnerable, or staying in that healthy relationship. Put a one in the chat. If you agree, put a one in the chat right now. All right. Put a one in. Ace Rivera from Tokyo. All right, Andrea, I'm going to answer this question. If you agree with that quote, put a one in the chat. How does this translate to business? Example, making cold calls. Now, that's a hard one. That's a very broad question. Hard one to call. I mean, it depends on like the nature of your business. The fear, though, is you just can't fear rejection. This is what dating is. This is why dating is so beautiful. There are 7.8, 7.9 billion people in this world. And when you're dating, you can't fear that rejection. If anything, you have to get yourself to the point mentally where you're just okay with getting rejected, because there's another person. There's a different bus coming every 5 minutes. There's another person that's going to be out there that may be into that product you're selling or the service that you're selling. So you can't fear that rejection. It just takes getting used to it. One of the strongest or the most impactful things you can ever learn in life is to not take things personal, because it has nothing to do with you. As much as people will try to make you feel bad or tear down your character, you can't take it personal, because what a person does and says to you is a reflection on how they feel inside. So if they are at a state where they don't have the finances, or they're annoyed with telemarketers or something, and you're making a cold call, don't take it personal. I respect the people a lot more that don't get upset when they cold call me and they say, all right, I appreciate the time, or all right, you have a good day, instead of the person that just hangs up and gets upset. Like, you have to not take it personal. Hope that helped. Coach, I have a question. I am in a state of no contact with some guy, but I miss him. Fearful of void. What do I do? I think I already answered that question. Happy Thanksgiving, Angela. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, I'm telling you, fear. I forgot who actually wrote that quote. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Yeah, fear will ruin everything. And I've seen this a lot where people have sabotaged relationships, healthy relationships. They've sabotaged jobs, and they didn't take that risk that they needed to take in order to be, more successful and to progress in their future. You can't be fearful. You have to be faithful. Take that leap of faith. Everybody's heard that saying before. It's true. If you don't, you'll never go to the next level. Everyone that I've ever studied that was successful in life, ever. Now I've read, I don't even know how many books I've read. They have all taken a risk. They've all gotten over their fear of rejection, of being vulnerable. When I first started too, I knew I had to put my face on camera. I had to build that relatability, and I had to be trustworthy. But I had to get over all of the fears that I had. Like right now, I have a pimple that's healing, but I couldn't stop myself from being on camera. I couldn't stop myself from doing what I feel God called me to do, to be here, to be in this space with you guys. If I was so fearful about, oh, well, what if they judge me? What if they do this? I mean, I've had people judge me. I've had people tell me, you know, who is he to be a relationship coach? Like, he's divorced. But I'm like, honestly, I feel like people's failures is more impactful than people's success, because you can take that information. I would take a person out to coffee who's been through 4 divorces and ask them what happened. How did you show up? Because if you're going through 4 divorces, there's one variable that hasn't changed. It's you. What have you done? What did you do in order to make these marriages not work? So when it comes to being not fearful, well, clearly he wasn't fearful of getting divorced again. He just, all right, I'll go ahead and get married again. I'll get engaged again. And it's unhealthy. Of course, it's anxious attachment, I feel, or some form of codependency. Um, but he wasn't fearful. He wasn't fearful of putting himself out there and getting his heart broken. I wrote a quote a couple months ago that said, you have to be um, vulnerable enough to make a fool out of yourself, but wise enough to know when to stop fooling around. And that's that balance. That's that fine line in between, trying to find that sweet spot on how much to be vulnerable and how much to just, pull yourself back and let bygones be bygones, or cut it off. Saw him Friday night. Now he's telling me it's just not going to work out. Won't give me any explanation except we all have faults. He's not going to get into that. I'm great and caring woman. Why is he so confused and I'm stuck? Okay, so from what it looks like, if he says something like we all have faults, now this is just my personal opinion, there's something that he's not communicating with you that he doesn't like. And according to him, it's like a deal breaker. And I don't know if he's trying to like make you feel bad, or if he's trying to well, he's clearly not trying to make you feel bad, because he's trying to be nice about it. But there is something that is a deal breaker and he's not communicating it with you. So always look for the key words in statements like that, like the whole "it's not you, it's me" thing. Like, yeah, I know it's you. And most likely when they say something like that, their heart's somewhere else. Their heart most likely is with another person. Whenever they say it's not you, it's me. Or if they say I'm not ready to be in a relationship, that means I'm not ready to be in a relationship with you. It's because the next person that comes along, they won't turn down the other people that comes along that they feel is high value. Like if Odell Beckham came along and say, "Hey, let me take you on a date," they won't say it's not you, it's me. They'll be like, "Okay, when." So you have to look into those little nuances in their speech. Happy Thanksgiving, Priscilla. Thank you. Yeah, it's coming up so fast. It's crazy. Like I said, this weekend, I wasn't really productive. I was just kind of a pile because I was celebrating my birthday. Like I said, this last year around the sun, man, in my 30s, is going to be a powerful one. I can feel it in my spirit, feel it in my bones, just how much, the coaching practice has picked up and just how much my YouTube channel has grown. So let's see. I have a coworker. I have a coworker who is a DA. For the past few months, we've been getting close and asked her out at the beginning of the month. She rejected me, but since then I haven't pressed the issue. Wrong timing. Um, I mean, I appreciate you shooting your shot. I mean, like I said, you got to get over that fear, and you have to understand, not everyone is for everyone. Not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to go on a date with you. And from what I was taught as a coach, is it's a numbers game. You can't get fearful. You can't beat yourself up for someone rejecting you. That's just how it is. If you think about when you're applying for a job, the smart people, they put in 30 to 40 applications because they know that the percentage of them getting a call back is very low. And it's the same thing when it comes with dating. Now, if this person if you're feeling kind of embarrassed because you got rejected, don't. It's just how it is. That's one thing about men in general. Our ego gets bruised when we get rejected, but you can't. This is why I tell my clients to just ask as many people out as possible. If you are, out here trying to find someone, Just don't care about the results. If anything, it's going to make you even better at what you do. When I first started my first business, I got lucky. It took off. It was something that was already in the bag. I had it, and I was good at what I did. But the businesses after that, it took a little finagling. The t-shirts I was pushing, the hats, the merchandise, it wasn't going where I wanted to go. But it was only when um, I started this one that it started to just take off. Like, you have to not fear that rejection. People are going to tell you no all the time, and that's okay. It really is. It means because you want somebody that's going to be already into you. You don't want to have to convince them to like you. So if she gave you like a maybe date and said, maybe, then most likely she wouldn't have been into you completely anyway. So it's just like I said, bro, Ace, it's a numbers game, bro. My phone background, never let fear decide your future. That is a great quote. Look at that. That is synchronicity. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, follow me there. I'm Coach Court. Coach Court on there. Twitter, I'm pretty sure I'm Coach Court on Twitter too. Follow me over there. I have Patreon. Patreon, you get one-on-one coaching with me too. I think it's like $25 a month. And that's all in the link in the description below. You can follow me there. I'm going to be releasing exclusive content on there that won't be on YouTube. And you get to message me. It's a little bit more intimate than the other platforms I have. And I don't know. I just like Patreon. I really want to push Patreon because it's a private deal and I like it. I'm pretty embarrassed about it all. Look, but you're not that embarrassed because you're sharing it with us right now, Ace. Don't worry about it. But okay to move on. However, I can see she's been totally cold and won't look me in the eye when talking to me. That's just women, man. They're emotional. She feels bad. She feels bad for not being into you like you were into her. I would imagine that if you asked her out, she probably led you on for a little while where she was kind of a little bit flirtatious. And then when you asked the question, she just, went cold on you. But it's okay, man. Don't feel bad. Like, trust me, I've been shot down plenty of times. Like, people way out of my league, and that's what society deems is out of my league. But I feel like I'm in whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyone can be with anyone. I'd rather be cool to be friends. Just give it time. But how long would it take for the coworker to be cool? Just give it time. I mean, maybe after the holidays, she may come back around and start talking to you again. But I, if you want to be proactive, let her know, hey, it's not a big deal. I get it. Like, I'm not offended at all. I just shot my shot, and sometimes you brick. So I appreciate I still want to have you as a friend. I'm not like that. I'm not mad. Hey, get the likes up. If you guys are in here, get the likes up. I appreciate you. Let me check my YouTube. See if what I need to do. Get the likes up. Get some people in here. The more feedback, the better. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you guys got your coffee. Hey, where you from? Let me know where you're from. What time it is there. I mess up these time zones all the time. It's not even funny. Just how many times it's like 2 hours off or something. No is a better yes. Absolutely, Priscilla. You know what time it is. I'm more embarrassed because I never mix work with pleasure. Yeah, you don't want to do that. I feel pretty proud of taking that risk, and I'm confident she's missing out. I just want my friend back. Okay, so yeah, don't look at it like that, man. I mean, you shake off the embarrassment, the rejection, whatever. Who cares, man? Ace, who cares? She said no. All right. You know what I would have did? I'm like, I tried. I mean, well, hey, you guess you're missing out on a fun Thanksgiving date. Because my mama, she cooks some really good food. So I guess I got to bring somebody else to indulge in her cooking. Just laugh it off, man. It is what it is. California, London, 5 p.m. All right. Yeah, that's about right. Cali, it's 8:54. Aren't you going to work? 9 o'clock? You gotta be there at 9 o'clock. So yeah, man, just don't even trip off of it, all right? Um, Once again, my Patreon account, my email, put my email up here for you guys if you guys are interested in coaching. If you're interested in, if you have any questions for me, Patreon 70% off coaching, and you do that once a month. And literally, I have people that message me, and we have conversations on there. Instagram is way busy. Um, it's just a lot of people. YouTube is a lot of people. So you kind of get caught up in the wash on those two platforms. But Patreon is it's a good one. I'll put that in link in the description below. Like I said, work schedule on Tuesday to Saturday, so it's my day off. T. Woo woo. What's your name, Hansi? Is that a real name or is that a screen name? Denmark. All right. This is so cool. All right. So I literally get to sit here as part of my job and travel the world virtually. So born in 82, shout out to Scorpios. Born in 82. Um, I kind of got in on the first wave of technology, internet, and there wasn't a lot of things back then that a lot of platforms that we have now. Email was just the computer was just taking off. Email was just taking off, and I can remember, oh man, it was some different chat sites that they came out with, and it was interesting to see just how people from all over the world was connecting on those platforms, and it was mind-boggling to me because up until that point, I was used to playing Sega Genesis and dealing with 16-bit graphics, and it wasn't anything as powerful as cell phones were just being released. It wasn't anything as powerful um as this right here, as connected as this. You could be an influencer that can purely sit in your office and influence people. You don't have to book sessions, involved with a talent agent or anything like that. But like I said earlier, like you saw the title of the video, is you have to get past that fear of being vulnerable, that fear of being rejected, that fear of not being taken in by people. And it's going to take a while to get used to that. I was actually thinking about joining my local Toastmasters club because they're going to help with being able to speak, being able to connect with people, stop saying things like and huh. That's so those are the little helping words when you're giving lectures or you're giving speeches. But I've actually just practiced more. The minute that I said I want to be a relationship coach and I want to be someone that helps people grow and helps people heal, I just started to just make a lot of content. And the more I've done it, the better I've gotten. But it did take getting over that fear. My first session ever was on Facebook, where I was talking to friends and family, and I was super nervous. I was super hyper, super jitterish. If you go back to my first videos, man, those videos were they were pretty funny. But it actually showed my growth. I actually was looking at that over this past weekend, because I had to assess where I've been and where I'm at now. Especially being 39, you look back and like, wow, dude, almost 40 years. Where did 40 years go? But looking back and being able to put yourself on film, and when I used to make music, put yourself on wax, it's like I really came a long way. And it's literally, this is why I tell people to not be so fixated on where they're at now and the experiences that you're going through right now, because your life is going to be in chapters. You're going to the Courtney 20 years ago is completely different than the one that you're seeing right now. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, there's going to be people that leave your life. There's going to be people that enter your life. There's going to be experiences that you have, jobs you have, cars, whatever. And you're not going to be that same person anymore. You're going to continuously grow and evolve. If you guys are coming in, get the likes up for me, please. Get the likes up for me. Appreciate you. We have 5 likes and there is almost 20 people in here. So this is letting me know that you guys aren't really feeling the content. But anyway, let me answer some questions. Is it worth waiting, coach? I gave DA 5 months to come back. He saw me as the one. Um Now it's important to understand that literally the title of this video is fear. It's faith over fear, basically. When a person's fear of being taken over, being or losing their individuality, being in a committed relationship outweighs their feelings for you, that's when they'll leave. But if you can calm their fears and allow for their feelings to naturally grow for you, that's when their feelings will grow. It's only when you start to put more expectations on them, you start to ask, hey, where are we going? You know, you're my boyfriend or girlfriend. You're supposed to be doing this. That's when their fears are going to start creeping up over their feelings for you. So you have to be very careful about that. Like I say all the time, life is a balance. Life is trying to find that middle ground. It's trying to, um, like the yin and the yang. You know, I studied Taoism. Literally, the Tao Te Ching, that yin and yang symbol is you have to find that middle ground. You get too hot, they'll become cold. You get too cold, they'll become hot. So you have to stay that warm. All right. Last question. It's me. Then why won't he leave me alone and stop reaching out? Because I started no contact. Okay, if he reaches out again, this is what you do. You ask to see him in person because the magic happens in person. Right? You can't woo somebody, I think that's the word, or court somebody or someone over text messages or over FaceTime. Get them in person. That's what you do. Because people will try to be your pen pal and try to be your texting pal for a long time, and you don't want that. You want something more encouraging. And what it is, or not encouraging, but a little bit more serious. What it is people, they're okay with not being lonely and having someone to text. But how far can your commitment go? Are you going to want to give me more? Because I don't want to be your pen pal, or you're in Denmark and I'm sending you messages all day long. I remember back when I had pen pals in middle school. That was pretty fun. Nowadays, it's like, no, we don't have to be pen pals. We could be much more than just people that are sending messages to each other. Like, if you want to be with me, if you want this thing to go to the next level, we have to take the steps necessary to make that happen. Short for Hans. Thanks, Hans. Team Scorpio all day. St. Louis, Missouri. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. St. Louis. That's where I'm from, everybody. Born and raised. Realized my 4 year, what is IDR? Partner was a DA. Split recently after we had a discussion about moving, marriage, etc. Yeah, there it is. There's the expectations. Fascinating to see your theory on DAs having a fantasy of what a relationship should be. It's really, they want relationships that are low maintenance, not a lot of drama. Um, what's the word? Yeah, they would prefer non-committal because then they can move around and do the things that they want to do. I said in my last videos pretty often, um, the quickest way to ruin a relationship with a dismissive person is to move in with them. Take their space away from them, take their freedom, because they have a big fear of losing who they are as a person and not being able to do what they want to do. And I think a lot of that has to do with growing up, they were independent. They had to be, they were forced to be independent. And that's the way that they survive. I mean, from everything. You can give them the wrong advice, like how to load the dishwasher or the best way to, do their laundry. And they'll take that as offense. They'll take that as criticism because the way I've done the laundry has been great this whole time. Who are you to tell me how to do it? It's like, no, I'm just trying to help you enrich your life. But, and it's all just communication issues. It's all the power of intention. You have to make sure that you let them know that my intentions is to help you. I don't want to change you. I'm just trying to help you. This is how I do it. So we have to really check that and realize that not everyone handles feedback the same way. As far as if you're a person that's an anxious person, you would appreciate that. You would appreciate them trying to connect with you on a way that they're trying to make your life better. That's our love language. That's more like that's kind of like an act of service. Like if you're giving us information about how to make my life the best way, or the most uh, quality life that I can live, that's endearing to an anxious person. But to another person that's more avoidant, that's most likely um, feeling like criticism of them. So, do DAs realize they create most of the drama with their hot code behaviors? Yeah, I think they do, but I'm gonna be honest, they're really stubborn, and it's like the turtle analogy that I talk about. Once they go back in their shell, they can become very stubborn, and honestly, you won't see them say sorry very much because it's a vulnerable thing for them to admit fault to things. Because I don't know if it has something to do with just uh, how they were shamed when they were younger, or they felt like they can never do anything right, or whatever. I'm just going down a rabbit hole there. I'm not going to go there. But the reason that they don't do it is it's still a mystery to me. I know that for anxious people, we over apologize. In the DA, they won't apologize. It's a tough thing for them to do. When they become more vulnerable and once they become more secure, then they may do it. But overall, it feels very shameful for them to have to apologize and realize that they have this flaw because they know that they have this flaw. They know that they don't show up well in relationships. So in order to when they admit it, it makes them feel really bad to have to do so. So 100% the truth, what you're saying, just in no contact, managing a business together. If she comes back, she does. If not, oh well. That's a tough one too. I was literally just listening to a podcast about that where they were talking about if you are going through a marriage or a divorce with someone that you started a business with, or if you were in a relationship with someone that you started a business with, that business is essentially your baby. And when it's like when you go through a divorce and you have to figure out custody. So the business, you have to figure out like who's going to take over primary control, or if you're just going to dissolve the business altogether. And it's a hard thing to figure out. So I think that's funny that you say that. Get the likes up if you're in here. Appreciate you. 16 likes. All right, all right, all right. Appreciate that. Now, this is a good birthday gift. Appreciate it. My DA accidentally sent me a selfie Snapchat a week ago, and then we returned it. And see, do I just keep no contact? I don't know. That could have been a bid for connection accidentally. Could have been a bid for connection, but then again, it could have been just breadcrumbing you. Um, if they said they accidentally did it, I would just take it as that. I would always look for that direct contact where they reach out to you. But it could, I don't know. Did you try to keep the relation or the conversation going? Thank you so much. After 3 years knowing him, I have expectations for wanting more. And 3 years is a long time. And I tell people it's you don't have to stick in that relationship if it's not meeting your needs. If it's messing with your mental health, do not stick around because your mental health is the most important. How a person is showing up is it's very important for you to make sure your needs are met too. I know you hear all these stories about how they were raised, their upbringing, and you don't want to be the one to abandon them or fail them again, but your mental health is just as important. And just because you didn't have the same experiences that they had growing up doesn't mean that you have to coddle them and stick around longer than you need to be because people are here for reasons in your season. And when you realize that that season has changed, you don't want to be stuck in the snow with your swim trunks still on. You have to realize, all right, I need to change. I need to let this thing go if need be. 17 likes. All right, all right. Thank you so much. All right, saw that one. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. Like I said, the Patreon account, the YouTube membership, go to my homepage here. You can join the YouTube membership. Both are $25. Patreon is a little bit more intimate, where we can talk one-on-one. You can inbox me, and we can have our 20-minute one-on-one coaching session together, as long as you are a member of the program. I'll include all those links below. Happy Monday. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys felt like this was a valuable piece of content. If you feel like you want more content like this, I've been focusing primarily on attachment styles and rebound relationships. Those are two of the things that I know a lot about, two of the things that I study, two of the situations that are dynamics that I study pretty hardcore. So I appreciate you guys as always. Ace, thank you for being here, brother. I told him I want everything with him, and all he said, we'll see about that. And you don't want that either. You know, that's keeping you hooked, right? That's keeping you physically single, but mentally still in a relationship. And that's not what you want to do. You know, the quickest way to get someone's attention is to remove yours. The most effective way. And you're not removing it as a form of manipulation. It is to regain who you are and put that energy in a much more useful place. Like, take part in some type of labor of love, you know, volunteer, work with, you know, do some coaching if you need to, whatever it need be to get yourself to a better state mentally. All right. So I'm about to take off, guys. Happy Monday. Hope you have a good week. Namaste. I love all you guys. Like I said, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, because I am Coach Court. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you guys soon.